Hello. So I been having some brake issues on the old Sportster, and I couldn't decide what I wanted to do. Did I want to get a new master cylinder and brake caliper, and because like I plan on chopping the bike out. I don't know if I want to go chrome or what I wanted, so I was like really debating. I ended up finding out. I think I found out that the issue was within the master cylinder, and I'll show you what I had to do or what I'm doing. We'll see if it works or not. I don't know. We'll see. So basically a couple days ago, I pulled the bike out. I was gonna take it into work. It's a nice day, and the brake just like got stuck. So like I could squeeze it and it would just stay. I could push it back out and it would release, but if I pulled it, it just stayed shut. When I started pulling it, I realized that, like I don't know what happened, but like I pulled it real hard and it made a popping sound within the master cylinder. I was like, okay, well, maybe something got stuck in the line. I don't know. So I took the line out, drained it, drained the fluid, tried to do it again, and I could not get any fluid out from the master cylinder at all. Like nothing would come out from the master cylinder. After trying, well, I guess before I realized it was the master cylinder, I bought a new brake line, which is a silver or chrome one over here, whatever you want to call it, and tried it. It didn't work. I was kind of bummed. Took the master cylinder apart, and I'm pretty sure that's the cause. So I'll bring you over here. Quite messy. I had the windows or the garage door open while putting up Christmas lights, and a bunch of leaves got in. Those are my tools. This is called frustration, not being able to fix things. That's actually a target that I was using for a clamp. That's tape. I don't know why it's there. Anyway, so came over here to the master cylinder. It's like, hey, you're fixing to lose a whole bunch of paint from having brake fluid all over it, which for the record is going to happen because brake fluid's been everywhere. And I came in here and I took, you can kind of see the remnants of it, the dust cover. When you take the dust cover off, it has a spring. It has this guy, if you see that. It has this that pushes that in, and this cap that goes on top of the spring right there. So when I was trying to get it out to see if it was stuck, the dust cover broke. I couldn't just find just a straight dust cover, which is this guy right here. So I ended up having to buy the whole part. I got it off of JP Cycles. It was like 15 bucks for like the whole kit. So it came with another spring, O-ring, that thing. I was looking in the manual, which is down there, and it was kind of explaining how to get it put on. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to get my phone way away from this brake fluid because I don't want to ruin this phone. And yeah, wish me luck.
A few moments later.
All right, so I actually fixed it. It's the same night, a couple hours later. I didn't get too in depth, and I will explain why here in a minute. But as of right now, it all appears to be working. This was kind of like an impromptu thing. I don't even know if I think I may have posted once about how front brakes are stupid and you shouldn't use them, and I still stand by that. But it was kind of, I was on a mission and I had to get it taken care of. So what can you do? Basically what happened, and I'm gonna flip the camera around because I think I could show you a little bit easier and try not to be as shaky. So get my fingies out of the way. So I actually had another cable from my dad, and I initially thought the gap that was in here, or I had another brake line. I thought the brake line in here wasn't like it didn't line up with the gap where the hole worked. Like it was a newer cable, and I don't know if it was for this bike. I don't know what was going on with it. I was able to get fluid down through to it, and everything seemed fine. I thought, I was pulling it out, I was pumping it out with this thing from Harbor Freight. It was coming out just fine. I rode it like 2 or 3 days. It was just fine. Got out, went to ride the next morning, and the brakes were just locked. Like it wouldn't go through, and I was like, well, that could be air. So let me see if I can. I ended up going into work and coming back, and I was trying to pull the fluid out, and I couldn't get any fluid to come out at all. Like it was just completely stuck. And it's like, okay, well, this is super strange. One of the bad advices that I took was to, and I took this off of YouTube because I'm just learning, these things, was to take the front brake caliper off, push it in all the way, pump it out, out all the way to make sure that it's actually pumping, and then what I would do is get it pushed back in with one of those C-clamps. I think in the process of doing that is ultimately what messed this up, but I didn't think about it at the time because this had gone by for maybe like 2 weeks or something. So when I come back out here to try to figure out what's going on, I'm not getting fluid down here. So I trace it up here, and I'm not getting any fluid. Like if I take this out, there was no fluid. Even if I, dumped it over, there was no fluid coming out. I was like, okay, well, there has to be something going on with this. So I took this off, drained all the fluid out of it, pulled all the fluid out of there. I then used my suction tool, and it just pulled it right out. I came over and pulled the grips. It was super hard, still super hard to pull. And then all of a sudden, like I pulled it really hard, and I heard a popping sound. I was like, okay, great. Like I messed up the internals of the master cylinder. Like that has to be what's going on. So I took it apart. Didn't see anything going on. Like they came out just fine, but I knew something was definitely off. And plus I ripped the dust washer, the dust cover washer, whatever it's called. Basically it prevents dust coming in. And so I was like, okay, $15, ordered it, whatever. So I got that in today, immediately while putting it on. So I ordered this, I think it was actually from Dennis Kirk, because I usually get it a day or two earlier than like JP, and I didn't see like Lowbrow Customs have anything, or like TC Bros. I didn't see, but I didn't try too hard. But anyway, so basically I went to put the new one on, and my finger went straight through like the rubber on the dust cover for it. I was like, okay, well that sucks. I almost put this through the wall, and I'm glad I didn't. I went ahead and put it on for now, knowing that I just want to see if I can get this line working. Like I can't get any pressure going through to it. I just want to see if maybe it was something with the other parts that were on there or what. So I get it on, put fluid in, connect down there, tighten it, start, trying to pull fluid through it. Like I'm trying every method you can, like by putting pressure on there and like opening up and pulling from down here. They call that the manual way. So you have like a tube connected here into another bottle. It's not too far from here, and then you loosen it up and it'll pull some fluid into it. So I thought, okay, well I'll try that method, and I tried that, didn't work. So I kind of had enough. So I drained the master cylinder again, and I took this stupid thing off, the caliper. Well, the caliper, when I was doing this part, I was pushing it back, and I don't know if it just got pushed back too far, if it messed with something, I don't know exactly what happened. However, it was like completely stuck. The manual says if you ever have like a stuck one of those, or just to get one out in general, cover your thumb or just leave this in, and then put air on the other side after this is off, and you put like a piece of wood down and a rag, and then you push air in there, from an air compressor, push it, and it'll push that thing out. So I did that, shot out like a rocket, and cleaned everything up. I put everything back in properly. When you do that, you're really supposed to replace some cylinders. That's why I'm not getting too far in depth with this, because I'm gonna eventually have to do a how-to, but they want you to replace like some rubber seals and stuff, especially if it's aged. This one's obviously aged. It also says that you can lube them up, which I did, and I put them back in there for now. I'm not planning on taking this cross country or anything, so I got all these internal parts on the caliper out and kind of lubed up. I started putting them back in kind of slowly, and yeah, after that I was able to come here. I built up my pressure, came here, opened it, started pulling. I actually had my wife pull the lever up there, and she was pumping it, and I was keeping that suction down here, and it started going down. Everything started coming out just fine. Yeah, it was crazy. Once it got to where there were no bubbles coming out, I locked it back up. I wrapped this up just to make sure I don't have any leaks from maybe one of the banjo bolt washers. But I mean, I just took it out for a ride. It's like 10:30. I'm gonna end up taking it into work tomorrow. I know it's not like, I know it's not ideal, but I need to get that dust cover back on, so I'll just order one of those. I'll order the kit for the master cylinder down there. Basically, the idea is that this is like, it was either spend like, $30 on total for both internals for the master cylinder and $30 for the internal of the caliper, or like a couple $100. And I don't know what style I want. I know I want a Springer front end for it, and I'll want like a chrome brake for it as well. So I don't know. I just went with the cheaper route for now. Christmas is coming up too. So figure we should save a little bit of money. But yeah, so as of right now, the brakes are working. This is more so just a cry. I started as a cry for help because I did not think I was going to get it. I was actually convinced I wasn't going to get it. There's no way in hell I had that. I'm blaming it on my wife's good luck. She's my good luck charm, and I love her very much for it. But yeah, so it's working right now. Maybe, I don't know, in a week or two, I'm going to take it all apart again because I'm an idiot, and I want to make sure that I have the dust cover on correctly, and I replaced the dust covers on the calipers, and yeah, that was like my first official introduction to brake lines, and I gotta say it's pretty gnarly. Like I've rode bikes my entire life, and I've bled brakes before. Like, I mean, on the street glide I've done it, but this was a total different monster, and I kind of expect it. One day, it was last weekend, I was working on it and working on the bike. I think it was last weekend. It was, I don't know, one of the last times I worked on the bike. I was working on it, I was getting really pissed, and I wanted to throw something, and just how you get sometimes when you're frustrated. Or just me, is that just my anger problems? Anyway, so it just hit me when I was driving my wife to some fundraiser thing that she was doing, and it hit me. It was like, well, you're an idiot. Well, for one, just in general, you're dumb, and the second reason you're an idiot is because like, you bought this bike to learn how to work on bikes. Like, that's the whole idea. You want to learn everything about bikes. Well, brakes are part of a bike unless you're just a gnarly, badass biker. And hey, all power to you. I support you 110%. I like to think that maybe you started out my way. You were okay with front brakes and rear brakes, and then the front brakes just screwed you over and you stopped. I support you for that. That's awesome. I'm on your team. However, my wife was not a big fan of me riding without front brakes, and you're probably a better rider than I am. So I just thought I'd throw that out there. I get off subject, but anyway, I just had to like laugh at that point where it's like, you're dumb. Like, this is what you want to do, man. You want to work on bikes. like this, and this is what it takes. And not all of it can be engine stuff that you understand, or whatever other parts that you can get down. It has to be the not fun stuff, electrical, and dealing with brake lines and brake fluids and stuff. But I think one thing I'm gonna do to make things easier, if I start working on other people's bikes, I want to get one that you can use a air compressor with. And the thought with that is that you can, it just like pulls it through the air compressor. I mean, I don't know how it technically works, but it's really nice. My dad has one. I didn't use it. I was sticking to my guns with my little pumper over here, but which did its work. I feel like I get less bubbles from that one. Like, it wasn't complicated for that one to have no bubbles in it when I use the air compressor version. But anyway, I get off subject. So yeah, I'll get a better picture of this, of the bike, when it's not so dirty in here and it's cleaned up, which we'll be done this weekend. But I'll get a better picture. But I hope you guys are enjoying what the bike looks like now. It basically just has a chrome silver brake line and taller handlebars. Still got these gnarly mirrors on, keeping them going. Still got those gnar turn signals on, keeping those going. I think I'm gonna get a tank. So I was actually influenced by Shade Tree Surgeon when he had on his XR, his niece painted it. I think it's his niece painted it. And I thought, that'd be kind of badass to have my wife like paint me a tank. She's also an artist, and I would have my wife a little bit more, some more guidelines on what to do, only because she can go get out there. But I think that might be what we do with it. I'm hoping to get a big air compressor soon, and a bike lift as well, and really just start kind of tearing this stuff down. It'll help when I'm welding on the hardtail frame. It'll just help with most of the stuff I have to do. So anyway, that's gonna be it. I hope you enjoyed it. Really short kind of explanation of what I've been kind of going through with the bike. I'll have better videos to come, how to, if you guys want them. I'll have, better instructions there. I'm also debating on changing my name. I got some grief from some tribal members about it. But we'll see. If I do, I'm gonna do something gnarly, just go off the hinges of Dragon Slayer slays dragon with lasers or something, just something way off the topic, what are you talking about kind of thing. I just think it'd be funny, and then get maybe a little bit of following, and they're like, hey, who's your favorite moto vlogger? And they're they'll go through the obvious, her two wheels and Blockhead and the Shade Tree and all those, and Flipnon and all that, and then they'll be and Dragon Slayer, Laser, Tiger Hunter. It's all one name, and that would bring some views to the channel. Anyway, it's super late. I'm super tired. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll holler at you guys later. See ya.